This study on the age of heaven is a fascinating study. It is a sister study with the age of the heaven and earth, but the first part is the study of the age of heaven. Now, how can we conclude what the age of heaven could be? And it's very simple. There are events in heaven that would give us a clue as to how it had been. And then when we study the age of earth, we'll add the two and we'll discover that heaven and earth have been in existence this long. So 25 years ago, while I was studying Bible doctrines, the question was, how old is the age of the earth? And I understood that there was a Bishop Clenzo who had come up with a study. But I was trying to figure out, like, how can you compose a study that will help you to understand the age of the world? And over time, and as the software developed, Bible software and computers and so on, I was able to use them in searches and so forth and get uh, ahead with the study. Now, the age of heaven, I believe it's about maybe 1 to 5 years older than earth. Now, why I say that is this: Jesus, the creator, God, the administrator, and God, the Holy Spirit, or inspirer and lover, um, decided that they're going to make a home. And the capital of this realm is called heaven. And there are outlying colonies where the sons of God and daughters of God reside. And so he created the various orders and the various beings and these worlds and so on. And then he created, well, along the creation was also the band of angels. And the leader was Lucifer, who was very talented, bright light, musical talent, voice special, etc., as the leader and conductor of the choir. But over time, he became fascinated and narcissistic and felt that he was so beautiful and so awesome that he should take the place of Christ. Now, he and all the other angels that followed him forgot that when they opened their eyes, they saw Jesus bending over them. And he's their creator. Without him, they wouldn't have existed. So, for him to want to take Christ's position was kind of absurd and very silly. Nevertheless, he placed a kind of sophistry on the minds of the angelic hosts and the other worlds. And he told them, he said, angels and beings are saying that he should really take the place of Christ because he's so talented, he's so beautiful, has all this bright light, etc. And as the leader of the choir and so forth, an important senior person in heaven and the realm heaven, he got some credence, and about half of the angels decided to go ahead with him, about half. And so in the first, when the God had realized that there was controversy was developing and disharmony was happening in heaven, he called them up and they called him up and talked to him and said, this is what you're doing and it's not right. So he persisted and he decided to cast him out with maybe about half of the angels. And eventually he went back several times pleading and crying, and the angels were so sorrowful, etc. And every time angels dropped off and decided to stay loyal and get out of the controversy and out of this deception. But finally, when God decided that it's over and you got to go, a third of the angels solidified their allegiance and their support for this alliance, for Lucifer, who will become Satan. Now, God could have killed him immediately, but the type of sophistry perpetuated and promulgated, it would have been very difficult. There would have been distrust and disharmony still in heaven today, because remember, he was a senior being in heaven, and he had a lot of respect and clout. Somebody would have been lingering that I think that they kill him so that they're gonna hide this whole agenda he had. So they allowed him to live, but it had to be early in the existence of heaven that he did this maneuver, because the longer it lasted, the more they would have had confidence in God and wouldn't have succumbed to this kind of lie. But because it was early in their existence that they were able to believe this lie and went ahead with it, and the third finally to seal their faith with him. So I will say that in our time, maybe about up to 5 years it could have been in existence when he was able to thrown out finally. If it had been longer, everybody would have been immortal. They would have been perfect, no sin, no controversy, no nothing. But because he was able to make this choice, it meant that he was still mortal. He was subject to die. Everybody was subject to die. But up to that point, immortality had not been dispelled or, you know, cast on these hosts in heaven. But eventually, after he was cast out and the time last, and they all showed allegiance to God and they were willing to submit to the plan, they became immortal. And so, if time were to last long enough, Satan would die from natural causes because he wasn't made to live forever. Yes, man lived up to about 1,000 years, and that was the amount of vital energy that those created a little lower than the angels had. But according to my study, Earth and heaven would be near 7,000, 6,000, 50 to 50 or whatever, 300. He still has vital energy, still there, but I don't think he could live another 6,000 years. His vital energy is going down. In fact, Ellen White, I understand, saw him someplace with his whole cheek, propped up and wondering what's going to become of his fate. So, knowing that his time is short and that his lifespan is running out, he's getting busy. He's trying to bring on the problems in the world so as to effect the damage he really wants to do to Jesus on us, that he's kind of accelerating his plan. He's about to die naturally. So without the immortality, he can't live forever. So he's about to die physically on his own. But Christ will come in before and to execute him as the plan is.